53544, please. Now, people opposed to the water tax have been told they could be jailed if they fit this cheap and simple plug that people are talking about, which will help to beat the meters. There's plenty of people talking about this. It's the first I heard about it, but there could be a jail sentence or a fine of about $5,000 if you use it. And it is I'd say it's driving the water people a little bit mad because they know this could be coming down the track. But on another level, it's getting a lot of anti-water people very, very excited. One is Derek Byrne from Dublin Says No, and he's on the line. Derek, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How does this thing work? Tell us about it.
It's basically before the meter is installed. When they've installed the casing in the ground, the plug is already in it. When they go to fit the meter in, they take this plug out, which is readily available in most hardware stores.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way to take the meter out without damaging it, all the information is up online on how to do it. And then you just put the plug back in and switch your water back on, and hey presto, your water's not metered. Now, this has already been carried out in numerous places all over Ireland. There are a number of people who they did not give Irish Water consent for a meter to be installed on the premises. And they've asked Irish Water to take the meters out. Irish Water said, no, they don't take meters out, which is false because they've already been shown that they do take meters out because they have been taken out in Tolga. So the people have taken the meters out and they've posted them back to Irish Water.
Right. Yeah, but if I decide I don't want to deal with the ESB and I bypass the ESB, for example, as people do, I mean, you hear stories of this all the time. People living off free ESB.
Well, the difference there is water isn't free. And as was admitted by Simon Coveney...
Nor is ESB, by the way. So.
Yeah, well, as Simon Coveney admitted the other day on radio, that the Irish people already pay for water in this country. Irish Water is funded by the Irish taxpayer by up to 1.2 billion every year. So we are already paying for water at the moment. So why are we going to go and pay for it again? Now, if the Irish government want to go and take our taxes and give that back to us, the 1.2 billion, then we'll pay for metered water. But till then, I'm not paying for water.
Okay, but here's what happens. You and I both go out at election time, as we did. We do our best to elect what we feel is the most appropriate government to govern us, and then we effectively give them a mandate to make decisions on our behalf. They have now decided that this is a method of raising revenue in the country, and in the same way as they could decide that sentences for murder are increased, or they decide that you could drive on the right hand side of the road. Sorry, let me finish. That's what we give them the mandate to do. They've decided this is the way. They're instituting laws. By doing this, you break the law. End of story.
The Irish government are not under a mandate. They went in under false promises on what they were going to do for the people. As soon as they got into power, they broke every promise that they got in there to do. Remember Leo Varadkar and his big spiel about not 1 cent to the bank.
Yeah, I do. But listen, they make the law, you break the law, you take the consequences.
And as most people that are out there and have been fighting,
by the way, I'm no fan of water. I'm no fan of water charges. Don't get me wrong. Well, but I'm saying that's why we elect governments to do things on our behalf. So if I decide that I don't like the fact that I don't like a guy down the road, so I decide to shoot him, I pay the consequences for that. The law is made to protect us, to do things for us, to make our society better. They make those decisions for us, unfortunately. But all you're doing is breaking the law.
Unfortunately, the Irish government haven't done anything for the betterment of Irish society. Now, when a government is coming along and taking medical care from sick children and all that, they've lost the mandate of the people, because the people in this country didn't want that. It's just the same as the other day where they abstained in the vote in Gaza. The Irish people didn't want that. They're not doing they are not listening to the people and what the people want. Now, it took a lot that Enda Kenny was supposed to go and speak on behalf of the Irish people in Europe and talk about debt write-downs, and he didn't bother. It took Ming Flanagan to go to Europe and tell Juncker directly that we want their money back. Now, Ming Flanagan is a politician. Enda Kenny is a puppet. He does not speak on behalf of the Irish people. And the way Fine Gael and Labour have gone on in all this is shown them for what they actually are. They were very big saying about Fianna Fáil were doing, and yet they went in and did the exact same thing. They went into government, they had no vision, no ideas, so just carried on the same old tired policies. Now, as regard to criminal...
Hold on a second, you're politicising this now. We're talking specifically about water, and you're talking about fitting these things which are completely illegal, and saying you don't feel you have to take the consequences for doing that.
There are many ways to fight the water charges. Now, putting the plugs in and taking the meters out, that's something that's available for those that have had meters installed, and if they want to take the meters out, the plugs are there. If you haven't got a meter in, like the rest of us have been doing for the last number of weeks in this country, where we've been out in our estates protesting and standing on the shores and refusing them to allow them install the water meters. And it's been very successful.
But you know something, Derek. This is going to go the same way as the local property tax. It's going to go the same way as the property tax. It's going to be effectively enforced, and there is not a lot you're going to be able to do about it. And you can jump up and down, make any political statement you want, but you're going to lose in the end, because they're not investing.
Irish Water is a private company, and revenue.
No, Irish Water is a state company.
No, if you look into the records, it's a private company.
It's owned by the state.
And it's registered as a private company.
It's owned by the state.
No. I will fight this to the end. And as you said, you lose in the end. Well, if you stand up and fight, but if you don't stand up, you've already lost. So I'm not here to be rolled over by this government any longer. Too many cuts. You're talking about. We have people. You see there on the.
Are you full time at this, Derek?
If I'm not walking, I'm out protesting.
Right. Okay.
Protesting. Now I work nights, so I find the time when I finish work, I go out during the day, and I do it during the day. And if I give up sleep, it's something I have to do, because at the end of the day, I'm fighting for my children's future in this country.
Sure. I know. Look, I understand, and I'm not. I'm not having to go. What I'm saying to you is, what you're advocating here is completely illegal, and the consequences of that for everybody are, if you engage in this sort of behaviour, you're going to find yourself fined or in prison.
Everyone is there to make their own decision. Now, I don't have to worry about taking the meter out, because there is no meter installed where I am, because we fought Irish Water for 16 weeks. We effectively pushed Irish Water out of our estates, like many estates around the country, because this began down in Togar, spread to Dublin, and it's now where you're talking about there are over 100 different groups nationwide fighting this. And it's building, and we'll all be coming together to unite under the one cause. And we're hoping on September 20th to get everyone onto the streets of Dublin to show this government that the people of this country have had enough, because there have been too many cuts.
All right, well, there's only one way to deal with them, Derek, if you really want to, and that's to vote them out the next time. All right, Derek Byrne from Dublin Says No, and I suppose you can either take the Democratic route or you can take them on whichever way you want. All of the point we were making here at 4FM is that if you put in an illegal meter plug, you'll pay the consequences. Very straightforward, whether you like it or you don't. 53544 is the text line. People asking about donating to Katie McLaughlin. If you go to www.icrowdfund.ie, icrowdfund.ie/campaigns, you'll see it. So go to www.icrowdfund.ie/campaigns.
Classic Hits 4FM.
Thanks for tuning in on this